Good evening, I'm Lauren Culver.
And I'm Nicholas Kwolek. Thank you for watching KX News. Hailed as a win for the American worker, a new trade pact was announced last week between the United States, Mexico, and Canada.
But how will the deal impact North Dakota, specifically in the ag field? Robert Suhr has tonight's top story.
Calling it good for everyone, including farmers, President Trump says the new USMCA trade deal finally ends the country's worst trade deal in NAFTA. It's a deal that will make it easier for crops like this corn to cross international borders.
Advancing the USMCA represents a win not just for North Dakota, but for the American people, for the American worker, for the American small business owner.
It's been a tough year for agriculture in the state, from early droughts to flooding rains and early blizzards. But finally, there's some good news with the announcement of a tentative trade deal between Canada, Mexico, and the U.S. Frayne Olson is a crops economist for the NDSU Extension and tells me one of the major winners is the wheat industry, as it looks like we may finally get one uniform wheat grading system.
The wheat grading system in Canada is different than the wheat grading system here in the United States. USMCA is working very hard to try and standardize that to make it easier for grain to flow both directions instead of just the one direction where Canadian wheat comes into the U.S.
The dairy industry is also expected to benefit as U.S. dairy farmers will now be able to sell 3 times as much product to their northern neighbors as before.
The farmers are going to have to go out and buy much larger tractors because it means a lot of business.
But could that actually happen? And what's the feeling from the agriculture community? Clark Price operates a 3,000-acre farm in and around Washburn, as well as River AG, and tells me the deal could make it easier for farmers to keep their livestock healthy with the tariffs now gone.
Some of our pharmaceutical products that we sell for animal vaccines and stuff like that have been affected by some of this stuff, whether it be supply side or the cost of the product. We don't really necessarily see what the tariff side of it is on it, but that we've seen some increase in cost. And just assuming that some of that is coming from some of the tariffs.
The bill is also expected to create over 175,000 new jobs in the U.S., according to numbers released from the White House. USMCA is also expected to benefit the labor industry, the U.S. auto market, and the steel industry. Reporting for KX News in Bismarck, I'm Robert Suhr.
The bill must still be voted on in the House and Senate. Mexico ratified it last week, with the U.S. and Canada expecting to do the same early next year. The Lyft driver found guilty of sexually assaulting one of his riders will have his appeal heard in front of the Supreme Court tomorrow.